Not every cup of coffee is equal. 5 defined steps occur before a cup of coffee is ready to be poured. The bean selection, roast, grind, water, and brew method. It is a very carefully thought out process. Today, we will explore a defined 5-step process for overcoming objections, the quiet method. Question, understand, isolate, empathy, and trial close. Sales prospects are like coffee. A fresh cup of joe is piping hot, but if left untouched, it quickly becomes cold. The quiet method for overcoming objections is a tool to keep your sales pipeline piping hot. All sales professionals have the same hurdles, and these usually include overcoming objections. Objections can be our best friends. Asking a question or raising an objection indicates interest or feeling. Successful selling professionals want potential customers to ask questions and to state objections because it means these prospects are interested. They understand that few sales are made without this kind of interest from the customer. Just like different brands of coffee, every sales situation is unique. What works in one scenario may not work in the next. A sales recipe for overcoming objections that has spanned decades is the quiet method. Ask questions to understand what's stopping your customer from moving forward. Isolate to ensure that there are no additional objections in the way. Empathize to build your connection with the customer, and trial close to see what the customer is thinking after you gave them some new information. Question and understand go hand in hand. You need to ask questions to fully understand a customer's feelings. Remember, when you execute these 2 steps, it is very important to listen carefully to your customer's reply. Click the cell phone to hear the quiet method in action.
So what other questions or concerns do you have?
The closing costs seem really expensive. I mean, $5,600?
Beth, I understand. Do you have the loan estimate I sent you handy?
I do. It's right here.
Wonderful. The only fees that we control are the lender fees at the very top. All the other fees are third party, and they'd be the same no matter what company you choose to do a loan with.
So your fees are only $900?
Yep, that's it. All the other fees are third party, and you have the option to comparatively shop for several of those third party providers.
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
The next step, isolate, an often underutilized technique. This is great at smoking out any additional objections that may be lingering. Click on the cup for an example of how this is executed.
So aside from the closing costs, how does everything sound?
I'm just not sure about your company. I've never heard of you before, and I've never seen your company advertised.
We currently service your loan at 45 Shallow Water Way. It looks like we've been servicing your loan since 2012. Has everything been going smoothly?
It has. I always see ads on TV for TB Bank, but never your company. Are you small?
No, we're currently one of the top 10 lenders in the country. We can offer you competitive rates since we have smaller advertising expenses.
That's true. You got me there. Yeah, everything's been really great with the loan on Shallow Water Way.
Empathy is the ability to experience and relate to the thoughts, emotions, or experiences of others. Making emotional connections with customers is the key to more closings. Now, closing doesn't exclusively mean a sale. You are closing people every day when it comes to trusting you, making an appointment to speak to you again, or even starting the application process. Remember, always use your prospect's name in conversation. When we hear our name positively used in conversation, it releases endorphins and can have the same positive brain effect as consuming caffeine, like coffee, for instance.
I'm just not sure about the financing costs. This is all just so overwhelming.
I understand. I was nervous just like that when I bought my last car. I felt the same way about their financing. Beth, buying a new home is one of the largest purchases of your life. I too would want to work with a company that I trust, and I'd want to get the best rate and costs.
Thanks, James. This is all so much.
I know. A lot of my customers feel the same way, but feel free to ask me as many questions as you like.
Thanks, James.
Now that you've put all the pieces together, let's test it out. Ask your prospect for the sale again. Click the coffee cup to see how it goes.
So, Beth, are you feeling better about the closing costs?
I am. Thanks for taking the time to walk me through the LE.
Great. Would you like to get the process started so we can continue to deliver the great customer service we did on your shallow waterway home?
You know what? Let's do it. What are the next steps?
Let's put this method into action with the classic "your rate is too high" objection.
I am so nervous. We just signed a contract to close in 60 days. I'm just not sure this loan is right for me.
What concerns do you have, Mr. Brown?
The rate, it just seems way too high.
What are you comparing it to?
I've seen 3% in the newspaper.
We're committed to offering you a competitive rate. Rates in the newspaper often have additional fees. If you have a loan estimate from another lender, I'd be happy to contact my pricing department and ensure that we are competitive.
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
Aside from the rate, how does everything else sound?
Well, last time I got a loan, it was a big hassle because the title company was 2 hours away.
I may be able to arrange a mail-away closing. You can close from the comfort of your own home in many cases.
Oh, I didn't know that. This is all just so overwhelming.
I understand how you feel, Mr. Brown. Buying a new home is one of the biggest purchases in your lifetime, so I'm here to help you along the way.
Thank you. You know, I tend to stress out sometimes.
In order to get you closed in 60 days, we really need to get the loan started. I can get all of the paperwork headed your way.
What are the next steps?
Now, can you think of any other reason why you wouldn't move forward?
What concerns do you have?
Do I have your commitment to proceed provided I resolve the issue?
I felt the same way, Mr. Jones, when I purchased my first home.
Next time your customer has an objection and you know they're coming your way, be sure to try out the tested method for overcoming objections, the quiet method. Question, understand, isolate, empathize, and trial close.